The most powerful power that led human progress was the rapid advancement and widespread of technology. Economist in 1820, a person could expect to live 35 years as 94% of the global population lived in extreme poverty, and less than 20% of the population was literate. Today, human life expectancy is more than 70 years, 10% of the global population lives in extreme poverty and more than 80% of people are literate. These developments are mainly due to advances in technology that started in the industrial age and continue in the information age today. There are many exciting new technologies that will continue to transform the world and improve human well-being. Here are 11. 1. Self-driving cars. Today, there are self-driving cars that are safer than human-guided vehicles in most driving conditions. They will be even safer for the next 3 to 5 years, and they will start to be mainstream. According to World Health Organization estimates, 1,250,000 people die from automobile-related injuries per year. Half of the deaths are pedestrians, cyclists and motorcyclists hit by cars. Cars are the leading cause of death for people aged 15 to 29. Cars have reshaped the world in the 20th century, just like self-driving cars in the 21st century. In most cities, the available space 20 to 30% is used by many car parking spaces and time to approximately 95% is parked. Self-driving cars will be in almost continuous use, most likely coming from a smartphone app, thereby significantly reducing the need for parking. Cars will communicate with each other to prevent accidents and traffic jams, and riders will be able to spend time commuting to other activities such as work, education and socializing. Source: Tech Insider 2. Clean energy attempts to tackle climate change have not worked. Energy Talabini Azaltmak. Fortunately, scientists, engineers and entrepreneurs are working hard on the supply side to make clean energy comfortable and affordable. Due to stable technological and manufacturing developments, the price of solar cells has dropped 99.5% since 1977. The sun will soon be more cost-effective than fossil fuels. The cost of wind power has also dropped to an all-time low. Temsil yaklasik bir yukunkinulian stolidabnan sun on yildaki energy kapazitesi. Forward-thinking organizations take advantage of this. For example, there is an attempt to convert airports to clean energy that protects itself in India. Airport Kochi, India. Source: Clean Technica. Tesla is making high-performance, affordable electric cars and loading electric charging stations worldwide. Tesla Model 3 and US supercharger locations. There are signs of hope that clean energy will reach a tipping point soon. For example, there are now more electric charging stations in Japan than gas stations. Source: The Guardian. And Germany produces a lot of renewable energy, sometimes producing more than it can use. Source: Time Magazine 3. Virtual and augmented reality computer processors have recently become fast enough to empower comfortable and convincing virtual and augmented reality experiences. Companies like Facebook, Google, Apple and Microsoft are investing billions of dollars to make VR and AR more immersive, comfortable and affordable. Toybox demo from Oculus. People sometimes think that VR and AR will only be used for gaming, but over time they will be used for all kinds of events. For example, we will use them to manipulate 3D objects. Augmented reality computer interface from Iron Man to meet your friends and colleagues from all over the world. Augmented reality teleconference from Kingsman, and even for medical applications such as treating phobias or rehabilitating victims of stroke. Source: New Scientist. VR and AR have been dreaming of science fiction fans for decades. They will finally become a mainstream fact in the next few years. 4. Aircraft and flying cars. Roads? Where we go, we don't need roads. Dr. Emmett Brown. GPS started as a military technology, but is now used to greet taxis, get map directions, and hunt Pokémon. Likewise, drones started as military technology, but are increasingly being used for consumer and commercial applications. For example, unmanned aerial vehicles are used to investigate critical infrastructure such as bridges and power lines, to investigate areas where natural disasters are experienced, and to investigate many other creative uses such as combating animal trafficking. Source: NBC News. Amazon and Google produce unmanned aerial vehicles to deliver household items. Amazon Delivery Aircraft. The initial zipline uses the aircraft to provide medical supplies to remote villages that are not accessible by roads. Source: The Verge. Additionally, a new wave of initiatives are also working on flying cars, both those funded by Google co-founder Larry Page included. Terrafugia TFX flying car. Source: Flying cars use the same advanced technology as used in unmanned aerial vehicles, but they are large enough to carry people. Due to advances in materials, batteries and software, flying cars will be significantly more affordable and convenient than today's planes and helicopters. 5. Artificial intelligence. It can take 100 years for a computer to beat people in Go, maybe even longer. New York Times, 1997, Go of Master board game stolen by Google computer program. New York Times, 2016. Artificial intelligence has made rapid progress over the past decade due to new algorithms and huge increases in data collection and computing power. AI can be applied to almost any field. For example, an AI technique called artistic style transfer in photography transforms photos into a particular artist's style. Source: Google installed an artificial intelligence system that controls data center power systems and saves hundreds of millions of dollars in energy costs. Source: Bloomberg. The broad promise of artificial intelligence is to free people from repetitive mental tasks, just as the Industrial Revolution frees people from repetitive physical tasks. If AI can help people become better chess players, it means that it can help us become better pilots, better doctors, better judges, better teachers. Kevin Kelly. Some people worry that AI will destroy jobs. History has shown that new technology really eliminates jobs, instead creating new and better jobs. For example, with the arrival of the personal computer, the number of typography workers has dropped, but the increase in graphic designer jobs has been greater than that. Source: Harvard Business Review. It is much easier to imagine jobs to stay than new jobs to create. Today, millions of people work as app developers, drive-sharing drivers, drone operators, and social media marketers, jobs unimaginable 10 years ago. 6. Pocket supercomputers for everyone. By 2020, Internet bagli bir akili telefon will be dünyadaki yetişkinlerin %80. An iPhone 6 has about 225 transistors, about 625 times more transistors than the 1995 Intel Pentium computer. Today's smartphones were what used to be considered supercomputers. Hope visitors. Source: Business Insider. Internet-connected smartphones give ordinary people the capabilities that were available only to a select few. Just recently, currently, the president of a Maasai warrior on a cell phone in the middle of Kenya has better mobile communication than 25 years ago. If it's on a smartphone that uses Google, it can access more information than the US president did 15 years ago. Peter Diamandis. 7. Cryptocurrencies and blockchains. If you asked people what they needed to make their lives better in 1989, it was unlikely that they would say a decentralized network of information nodes connected using hypertext. Farmer and farmer protocols are the plumbing of the Internet. Many of the protocols we use today were developed by the academy and government decades ago. Since then, protocol development has often stopped when energy has moved to develop proprietary systems such as social networks and messaging applications. Cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies change this internet protokolary isen yeni bir as modeli saglayarak. This year alone, hundreds of millions of dollars have been raised kok sesitli yenilikshi blockchain tabanli protokolar isen. Protocols based on blockchains also have capabilities that previous protocols did not. For example, Ethereum is a new blockchain-based protocol that can be used to create smart contracts and reliable databases that are immune to corruption and censorship. 8. High-quality online education. As college fees spike, anyone with a smartphone can review almost any topic online, accessing mostly free and increasingly higher-quality educational content. The Britannica Encyclopedia cost $1,400. Now anyone with a smartphone can instantly access Wikipedia. To learn computer programming, you had to go to school or buy programming books. You can now learn from a community of over 40 million programmers in Stack Overflow. There are millions of hours of free tutorials and lessons on YouTube, many of which are produced by top professors and universities. UC Berkeley Physics on YouTube. The quality of online education is always getting better. For the past 15 years, MIT has been recording lessons and compilation materials covering more than 2,000 courses. The idea is simple: to publish all of our course materials online and make it public. Dick KPU, professor, MIT Engineering School. Perhaps the world's largest research university, MIT has always been ahead of trends. In the next decade, expect many other schools to follow MIT's leadership. Source: Futurism 9. Better food by science. Source: National Geographic. Soil, farmland and fresh water are running out. This is partly because our food production systems are incredibly inefficient. An amazing 1,799 gallons of water is required to produce 1 kilo of beef. Fortunately, various new technologies are being developed to improve our food system. For example, entrepreneurs are developing new food products that are tasty and nutritious substitutes for traditional food, but much more environmentally friendly. Initially, Impossible Foods invented meat products that look and taste real, but are actually made of herbs. Impossible Foods plant-based burger. Source: Tech Insider. Their hamburgers uses 95% less land, less water, 74%, and more traditional burgers it produces 87% less greenhouse gas emissions. Other initiatives create plant-based substitutes for milk, eggs, and other common foods. Soylent, much more environmentally friendly than traditional materials, advanced engineering components of the healthy use and replaces a cheap meal. Some of these products have been developed using genetic modification, a powerful scientific technique that is widely misdiagnosed as dangerous. According to a study by the Pew Organization, 88% of scientists think genetically modified foods are safe. Another exciting development in food production is automatic indoor breeding. Due to the developments in solar energy, sensors, lighting, robotics and artificial intelligence, indoor farms have become suitable alternatives to traditional outdoor farms. AeroFarm's indoor farm. Source: New York Times. Compared to traditional farms, about 10 times less water and land is used in automatic indoor farms. The crops are harvested many times a year, there is no dependence on the weather and there is no need to use pesticides. 10. Computerized medicine. Until recently, computers were only around medicine used for research and record keeping. Today, the combination of computer science and medicine leads to various breakthroughs. For example, just 15 years ago, sequencing a human genome cost $3 billion. Today, its cost is about $1,000 and continues to fall. Genetic sequencing will soon be a routine part of the drug. Genetic sequencing generates a large amount of data that can be analyzed using powerful data analysis software. One application is to analyze blood samples for early detection of cancer. Advanced genetic analysis can help determine the best course of treatment. Another application of computers to medicine is in prosthetic limbs. Here a young girl uses her prosthetic hands, which she controls using the upper arm muscles. Source: Open Bionics. Soon we will have the technology to control synthetic limbs using our brain-machine interfaces only with our thoughts. Computers are also becoming increasingly effective in diagnosing diseases. The artificial intelligence system has recently diagnosed a rare disease that human doctors could not diagnose by finding hidden patterns in 20 million cancer records. Source: International Business Times. 11. A new space age. Since the beginning of the space age in the 1950s, the vast majority of space finance has come from governments. But this fund has declined. For example, NASA's budget dropped from about 0.5% of the federal budget to about 4.5% of the federal budget in the 1960s today. Source: Fortune. The good news is that private space companies are starting to fill the gap. These companies offer a wide range of products and services, including speculative business models such as rocket launching, scientific research, communication and imaging satellites, and asteroid mining. The most famous private space company, Elon Musk, has successfully sent SpaceX into space that can make rockets reusable. SpaceX Falcon 9 opening. Perhaps the most interesting private space company is Planetary Resources Yeni Bir Endüstriye Onculuk Etmek, mineral mining from asteroids. Asteroid mining. If successful, asteroid mining can lead to a new explosion of gold in space. As with previous gold rushes, this could lead to speculative redundancy, but it also significantly increased funds for new technologies and infrastructure.